Welcome to the 2017 TELUS MBA TED Talk series. Our following two guests are both from TELUS Health and are excited to share their perspectives on leadership with you today. Please welcome Marc and Joanna to the stage.
Hey everybody, leadership is changing.
Wow, Marc, you're really fired up. What do you mean exactly?
Well, think about it. Elon Musk, Peter Thiel, Kenny Howery, Max Levitch, Luke Nosek, UPenn. Well, they weren't leading anybody. They were just a bunch of kids working together on a little project called PayPal. Nathan Black-Traxic, Brian Chesky, Joe Jabia, three roommates that ended up working together on a neat idea and would eventually form Airbnb.
I think I get it. Like Chad Hurley, Steve Chen, Jawed Karim, they created YouTube.
YouTube, correct.
William Hullard, David Packard,
HP. Leadership is more than leading people. It is about listening to each other, learning from each other, and ultimately inspiring one another.
I like it. Listen, learn, inspire. It actually makes me think of a novel, Pillars of the Earth. In it, Ken Follett talks of a master builder, Tom Builder. Tom has a dream to build a cathedral. Of course, like any good story, the plot is a lot more complex than this. But its main storyline is this idea of a master builder being the central leading figure, and that's an important one. It's one that truly has endured and proven itself through the test of time. I mean, consider Julius Caesar, Cornelius Vanderbilt, Henry Ford, maybe even today Donald Trump. Certainly, the master builder continues to have its role in today's society. However, our world is evolving faster and faster. It's growing more complex. Business is being driven to the internet more than ever. And that master leader style is becoming obsolete. In his 2009 book, The Checklist Manifesto, Atul Gawande talks about how the master builder has become obsolete. Architects, designers, engineers, carpenters, masons, and so on have adopted an approach that ensures that these professionals work together to respond to unpredicted changes through effective listening and collaboration.
Exactly, like Agile.
Agile?
Like Agile. Agile sort of started in early 2001 with a bunch of software enthusiasts met on a ski retreat to talk, to listen, and to find common ground and alternatives to a top-down, waterfall-style software design. And what came out of that were four core values. Individuals and interactions over processes and tools, working software over comprehensive documentation, customer collaboration over contract negotiation, and responding to change over following a plan. The rate at which Agile is spread, not only within the software industry, but beyond it, testifies to this. In Verizon's 2016 annual Agile survey, 94%, 4,000 plus respondents, said that their organization was using Agile. 98% of those realized success from Agile projects.
Yeah then, like Agile.
Engineers, designers, teachers, lawyers, doctors, sales executives, consultants, and so on. Our world and our professions aren't becoming more complex. They are complex. There is no master engineer. There is no master teacher. There is no master of business administration. There is no, well, you get the picture. In today's ever-informed age and era, what we do have are engineering leaders, teaching leaders, business leaders, and so on. For a great majority of us, we are all leaders. The manifestos from Agile or the checklist by Atul captured this. Interactions, working, collaboration, responding. Clearly applying these principles is paying off. Alas, we're not here to sell you manifestos, but rather talk to you about the importance of its core values. At the heart of these is trust and listening. Two fundamental concepts that need to be present. Trust and listening symbiotically work together to achieve a desired state of inspiration. Without one, you can't have the other.
Understanding this is critical to the message that we are giving here to you today. So let's talk about it a bit more.
Let's take a truly Canadian example by looking at the sport of curling. In this game of throwing rocks down a sheet of ice, the team members must trust that their skip will make the right call, execute in the big moments, and be accountable for the team. But most important is that he or she will listen to the team members when they share their opinion, even if they happen to be yelling while they're doing it. Another example, meeting with your doctor. He or she is making potentially life-defining decisions for you. But if you walk into the doctor's office to talk about the pain in your stomach and all he or she wants to talk about is that cough from 2 weeks ago, well, you're going to lose trust pretty quickly and be much less willing to return. As Patrick Lencioni states, trust can be defined as the willingness of people on a team to be vulnerable and human with one another. And then adding to this, we define trust as knowing that we can count on one another when times get tough. Knowing that you will listen to my ideas, even if they aren't so great. And just knowing that I'm a valued member of the team who understands the why behind what I'm doing.
Okay, listening, trust, these are all abstract concepts. This is like you telling me that all I need to be an airplane pilot is to have great vision. We get the importance of listening and trust, or certainly I do now. So to me, the real question is how do we create an effective environment for listening and trust, especially in an environment where we are all leaders?
I mean, that's a good point, Mark. So why don't we go ahead and get right to the good stuff. Let's say you spend just 1 minute Googling leadership. You will find more words than you can shake a stick at. Resourceful, creative, driven. I mean, we could spend 20 minutes just talking about so many of these different things. But don't fear, we'll try not to get too carried away. We really want to focus on some key attributes that we feel best contributing to creating an environment that fosters listening and trust. So being accountable and acting with integrity, being engaged, being open, embracing a growth mindset, and sharing your vision.
So let's picture these two leaders, both having accomplished great things. You are embarking on a risky, bold new idea. Which of these two figures will inspire you to pursue this idea? Harry Truman is often cited as a president exemplifying accountability, backing up his team, taking ownership and responsibility in critical moments, from the Korean War to racial integration in the U.S. Armed Forces. For Nixon, on the other hand, despite having done great things, ending the Korean War for one thing, he was the only president to ever have to resign from the threat of impeachment, having lied on a number of occasions, to get his way.
So, as a leader, it is important to demonstrate how you take responsibility for yourself and for your team. That being said, it's also important to hold others accountable for their actions. Leading by example in both of these ways supports building trust and an environment of accountability.
Okay, picture these two leaders. Which is the one you would approach for advice or to confide in? Former President Barack Obama needs no introduction. He was truly engaged, always focused on the discussion at hand. This transpired in everything he did, from random visits to Ottawa's Byward Market to televised national debates.
And adding to that, in a 2015 Deloitte study, it was found that Americans collectively check their phone 8 billion times a day. And each person, on average, 46 times a day. I mean, those numbers are pretty big, but then at the same time, not really surprising. So in today's technology-heavy society, this creates a challenge. Smartphones, smartwatches, computers, tablets. I mean, we're constantly distracted.
Sorry.
Taking the time to focus on the task at hand and the people in front of you shows that you're engaged and interested in that moment. And as a leader, when you listen purposefully to what others are saying, you'll be able to better anticipate how to support each other down the road. And being able to anticipate the needs of others is a powerful mechanism to develop trust.
Now picture these two leaders, both also having accomplished great things. You have a new idea. It's a bit risky, perhaps even considerably risky, but it could potentially change the world. Which of these figures inspires you to pursue that idea? Nelson Mandela is a fantastic example of this. A true listener of his time, Mandela was known for his engagement, openness, and willingness to learn, amongst many other things. Mandela's open-mindedness enabled him to preserve South Africa's previous government's liberal frameworks and policies. Frameworks that were against his own beliefs. But by doing so, he would foster a nation that is not only racially diverse, but also economically strong.
So as a leader, being open means that you welcome new ideas. You embrace hearing information that may be hard to hear. You become aware of your biases and limitations. You surround yourself with diverse people who are unlike you so that you can be challenged. This may be uncomfortable. I mean, we never said it was going to be easy. But the more that you do this, the better that you will understand others. The better that you can understand others, the better that you can lead. The better you can listen, and eventually, the better that you can inspire.
Picture these two leaders, all having accomplished great things. Coming back to that wonderful idea of yours, to make it happen, you need help. It may be difficult to explain, and you're not sure you will be able to explain it. You're looking for help, and who would you approach to work through this problem? Well, both may learn from your ideas. Thomas Edison, a brilliant man, would likely learn from your idea, very likely improving it, or he may just be too easy to take the time to understand it, or you may just take credit for the idea. Bill Hewitt and Dave Packard, on the other hand, would likely listen and work hard to understand. It is this passion for learning and collaboration that allowed these two to form one of America's greatest and most enduring companies, HP.
So as a leader, when you show that you're growing from the experiences of those around you, listening to, learning from your peers, it is when we can drive inspiration.
Lastly, as a leader, having a vision and sharing a vision is so important. It is this that truly demonstrates what you stand for, and by sharing it with others, you foster an environment of trust, and your vision is unlikely to be static. So this isn't a one-time thing. Vision is the glue that holds the other attributes together. If you don't have ideas or vision to start with, then you have great accountable people engagingly listening and learning from each other. Good. But an idea, a vision, is what to trust and listening can ultimately inspire. It is what led King to inspire so many to fight for racial equality rights.
In conclusion, we urge you to leave here today with the motivation to be accountable for your actions and to hold others accountable for theirs. To be engaged in the moment. To be open to what others bring forward and your own shortcomings. To embark on a journey of learning and growth. And finally, to share your vision and ideas with others.
In doing these things, you will be well on your way to setting yourself up for success. You're committing to creating an environment where trust exists and listening is deemed important. Once you've created this environment, you have laid the foundations for success in our new world of leadership. And if the foundation is laid, then you are in a position to start leading an effective and inspired team.
And it's so easy to say the words and more difficult to live them. But that's no excuse. You only have to go one step at a time. Listen,
Learn.
inspire. Thank you.